All right, everybody, we are back with the third round of the draft. Hope you guys checked our first two rounds. If not, they'll be down below in the description or they'll be up on the screen. You guys can check rounds one and two out. One was live on our Facebook feed. We shared that around a bit. Round two, we just knocked out earlier tonight. We're going to jump into round three. And again, before we go into round three, like as always, we always say, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, like, comment, support. Let us know what you think about our drafts. Any feedback always helps. Again, like we said in the last video, curse us out. Don't care. Let us know what you think. We're probably more than likely all of us are going to be wrong anyway. Come draft night, it's always going to be something crazy that happens to shake everything up. And again, we haven't traded in any of these picks, so we're doing what we can with just where we're sitting at the board. So with that, we are going to jump into the third round. I'm on the clock. I have the Jaguars pick again because Jay will be up drafting for his Jets at 66. We looked at a lot of the Jags needs, and we looked at a lot of people that they picked up. And I think the one person that I really kind of like looked at was the guy. I think it was Rashawn Jenkins, I believe. It was like a safety that they picked up. They paid him
Yeah,
like
the one that said they overpaid for.
yeah, they paid him like 4 years, $34 million. I think they said like the one time that he actually started, he was like ranked 39th out of 52 eligible safeties in the draft. So, I mean, and they said his value was only worth about $3 million a year, but the Jags gave him 4 years, 34, like outrageously. So I'm gonna give them somebody who I think can either step in and maybe start over him, or he's gonna step in and they can work, we can work in tandem something. But I considered going D tackle here, getting some interior presence. I know Jay's a big Elaine McNeil guy, but I'm looking at Hamza Nisruddin, safety out of Florida State. I'm
Let's
gonna give him Hamza.
go.
I'm gonna give him Hamza. I think he can step in, and a lot of people like the guy. I think he's probably one of the better safeties still available in the draft. Paul's a Florida State guy, so I know Paul's gonna like this pick. And Hamza might too. He's staying in Florida, so I give them some secondary help for the Jags. Start off the third round.
Jay, it's on
So
you for the Jets.
in the third round, see, if you guys didn't watch our other videos, I obviously took what seems to be the consensus at number 2 with Zach Wilson. I took a flyer at 23 on Caleb Farley, the cornerback out of Virginia Tech, who happened to just be sitting there in our lap. And I honestly feel like cornerback, along with the offensive line, was our biggest need. And you get your guy that can potentially be a number 1 corner, like you can't pass on that. And since unfortunately a pick before, the fan favorite Creed Humphreys was taken by the Jaguars, I took what I felt like was probably the next best option in Ohio State guard Wyatt Davis. So we still get the interior help. So here I have to go blessed payer available. I can't let this guy slip anymore. And we are okay. Like, we don't necessarily need a running back because we have a running back by committee system. But when you hear analysts and pundits talk about this guy gets compared to Nick Chubb more times than I can count. He's about his business, his football guy. And I feel like you get yourself an every down back along with the guys that we have in the stable that can give you a lot of different things. I think that makes it easier for Zach Wilson coming in, presuming he's the pick. And I think that if you have the chance to get a guy like this, he could potentially be the best running back coming out of this class, quite frankly. So I'm going to give the Jets Javonte Williams out of North Carolina.
Oh, I like it. I like the pick. Yeah, I'm trying to think, who are your other running backs that you guys have?
He's happy. His mom was happy. His daddy's happy. His auntie's happy. His grandma's happy. He's finally out of the green room.
The whole family's crying tears of happiness.
The last one out of the room.
We have LaMichael P. Ryan. We signed Telvin
Campbell.
Coleman. Coleman. There we go.
Sorry.
Coleman.
Sorry.
We have Josh Adams, who kind of popped for us last year. And I don't remember who the other guy is. I really don't.
Yeah, because we signed Gordon a 1-year deal.
Yeah. And like those guys are gonna get brought back probably on like developmental, or like we'll cut them, or they'll be on the practice squad or whatever. But I think getting a talent like Javonte Smith just makes it easier on the entire team because our receivers love to block downfield. It gets hopefully if we get a guy like Wyatt Davis or Cameron Clark kind of steps up and hits that left side as a guard, like it gets our offensive line moving. We all know Mekhi Becton loves to run block, loves to go out and hit people. You get a guy like Cam Clark, who used to be a tackle, who's athletic and has a mauler mentality. You get him out in space and have him start to hit people. I think, you get a guy like Javonte Smith that likes to hit people. It changes the identity of your team. It gives you that smash mouth New York attitude that I think we kind of need to get back to, even though I know everybody wants to pass the ball. Everybody likes receivers, yada, yada, yada. But it makes it easier for the receivers if they're afraid of the guy coming out of the backfield. And it makes the play action a lot easier. And in that West Coast Kyle Shanahan system, the play action is key. So I think he helps on multiple fronts for us.
Okay. I like it. All right.
Houston Texans.
The Texans with the first pick. Hey, let's go.
First pick of the draft. What are my needs?
Cornerback, wide receiver, safety, tight end, offensive center. Surprised they didn't put a tackle and guard in there too. I'm saying.
Probably, yeah.
No. Let's see. Watson as of now is still there. The offensive line was terrible.
Putting it mildly.
Yeah, Zach Fulton's gone now. Nick Martin's gone. I really want to give him Amon-Ra to give him some weapons, but at the same time, he's not going to be able to throw anybody off his back every play. The guy was running for his life every play last season. So.
Yeah, he still put up numbers though.
He did. He definitely did.
Still,
he did. But if that's your guy, if he's going to be there, because he's there unless he gets traded or all this legal stuff going on with him, I don't know. But even especially if he's not there next year, somebody else has to come in. Then,
Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah,
he's on a 1-year deal. He's on a 1-year deal.
Still, okay. He's there.
Yeah, he's there. And if something's going on with this whole Deshaun thing, he gets traded or whatever happens with this legal stuff. He's not playing. They need somebody. They need a line. So, I'm gonna go Josh Myers, the center out of Ohio State. He's on the board. He's a center. They need to start rebuilding the offensive line. I think he could step in. He'll probably, again, because they cut most of their offensive line. I feel like Josh Myers is going to step in and he'll immediately start for them day one. So give him some type of help.
Hey, just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Something's better than nothing. Next, we got the Falcons at 68.
Again, I feel like this is another one of those picks that they'll end up trading out of.
Mm-hmm.
Safety, running back. See, I love how they disrespect Todd Gurley like this. Like, they still need a running back. Like, I get it. He's not what he used to be, but damn. Ain't got to do him like that.
It's that knee. It's that knee, bro. It's that knee.
It really is. I understand. But I also know that Falcons defense is sus.
Todd Gurley's a free agent now.
Oh, okay. Well, since they don't have a running back right now, and I know the defense is sus. I just really can't tell you where they need the help because I haven't wasted my time watching the Falcons. Not gonna lie to you. But I'm gonna probably go against my better judgment here, and I'm gonna give them Michael Carter out of North Carolina.
Ooh.
He's a speed back, bodies bounce off the guy, and you gotta kind of preserve Matt Ryan as much as possible. Give him another weapon, and he's great catching out of the backfield. So I feel like it's given the position, it's definitely somewhere you can go.
Okay. All right, I'm up on the clock with the Bengals.
The
Jamar. We went Jamar and went Alex Leatherwood with our first two picks. What are my needs looking like, Paul?
All right. So your needs are tackle, wide receiver, guard, tight end, defensive tackle, and Jamar Chase got picked in the first round. Who was the second round again?
Alex Leatherwood. So our receiver and tackle needs are taken care of. So
tackle. So you got now guard, tight end, and defensive tackle.
cool. Well, I got one of the best D tackles still sitting on the board, and Alan McNeil. I'm going Alan McNeil. D tackle out of North Carolina State.
That was
And
easy.
for that value, he's a space eater. He can definitely help plug up a lot of those holes on the defensive front for the Bengals.
There you go.
All right. Next, we got the Eagles. The Eagles' needs are quarterback, wide receiver, cornerback, linebacker, tight end. They got the cornerback in the first round with J.C. Horn. Second round, you guys picked up
Kadarius
Toney for them.
So receiver and corner taken care of.
So receiver and corner taken care of. So now I was looking at linebacker and tight end. Unless you want to give him the quarterback too, but
Give him Davis Mills.
Uncle Rico from the University of Utah.
Oh my gosh.
Utah State.
I mean, I feel like this is an obvious one. I'm gonna give them I was about to do something stupid. Never mind. I'm gonna give them Hunter Long from Boston College.
Interesting.
Give him another pass catcher out there because we know Zach Ertz isn't gonna be there. They just kind of need to continue to put weapons around him. Just continue to put weapons around the kid. Honestly. And it's an easy, he needs a check down guy. More than anything, more than all the rest of these, he needs a check down guy. He needs a guy that he can go to when he's in trouble and just dump it off, let those guys grow together.
I like it. All right.
We got the Broncos. Their needs are let's see, linebacker, edge, quarterback, running back, safety. We got the linebacker taken care of, and we got a lineman for them. Was that the lineman? Was it lineman the first pick, the first round?
Yeah,
you can just click on the symbol
Rashawn
on the side, and it'll tell you what their picks were.
Okay, thank you. I never used PFN before, so
I got you.
Linebacker, huh? And what are my needs?
Linebacker, edge, quarterback, running back, safety. Linebacker's been taken care of already in the second round.
Edge, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Where do I want to go for edge? Well, I like the Pittsburgh edges.
I knew it. I knew it.
I like the Pittsburgh edges. And I like Rashad Weaver's game. So I'm gonna go Rashad Weaver right here.
Yes, sir. I saw that one coming.
I like Rashad Weaver's game. I like him and Patrick Jones. Patrick Jones is more of a speed. I see Rashad Weaver has some hands to him. He's a good hand fight. He has some power to the edge. I like Rashad Weaver's game. I think he played pretty well in the Senior Bowl too. So I'm gonna go Rashad there.
The Lions.
Right. We got the Lions here. The Lions needs are,
and this isn't updated, and I don't know if this was updated when they went and got that deal when they traded Matthew Stafford or not, because I know that they definitely did pick up a lot of pieces.
This is as of the 26th of March.
Which isn't that long ago.
It's that long ago.
I don't think they made any moves since then, personally.
No. So they need wide receiver, linebacker, quarterback. Damn. No respect for Jared Goff.
None.
Cornerback, safety. And we got them Kyle Pitts and Zavin Collins.
So I mean, I'm gonna, they've been kind of struggling with the new kid on the block, kind of out there by himself, and then they lost their big gun to the Eagles. I think it was last season. So I'm gonna give them Elijah Molden out of Washington.
Ooh, interesting.
Nice size corner. Help what's his face from
Amani Oruwariye.
I don't think that was his name. The guy they picked.
Isn't he?
The guy they picked early last year.
I believe it was Amani from Penn State.
No, it was the kid from Ohio State.
No, looking at it right now. Amani Oruwariye, quarterback plays for the Detroit Lions from Penn State.
The kid they took early last year?
Yeah.
The rookie? That name don't sound right to me.
Oh no, he was drafted 5th round.
That's what I'm thinking.
Who is?
All right. I just want to make sure you guys see the draft, right? You see the draft site?
Yeah, no, I
I'm
see it.
sure. Okay, just want to make sure. All right, so who'd you pick for the Lions again? I'm sorry.
Elijah Molden.
Oh,
Washington.
you talking about Okuda?
Yes, Jeff Okuda. That's what I'm looking for. Give him somebody else opposite Jeff Okuda to kind of help him out there by himself while he learns. And those guys can grow together in the secondary.
Okay, I like it.
All right, next we got the Panthers, who have needs at quarterback, cornerback, tackle, safety, linebacker. Their picks were Jaden Waddle as receiver and Jalen Mayfield at tackle.
And you said what?
We got another Jalen in here somewhere?
Jalen Mayfield, yeah. So their needs are cornerback, safety, and linebacker.
Cornerback, safety, and linebacker.
So defense.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because you drafted a tackle for them already, so they don't need that. And we know they didn't update this, but the Darnold trade here resolves that as quarterback position right there as it is.
Right. Let's see. I'm trying to think, because so their safety position, they have Jeremy Chin back there. I like Jeremy Chin. Cornerback, safety, and linebacker. Cornerback, I know they have Dante Jackson. I don't really know who they have across from Dante. So corner, I'm kind of looking at corner.
You got the speedster in Campbell from Georgia.
Yeah, I'm looking at Tyson Campbell. And I'm also thinking linebacker because I kind of want to replace the whole Luke Kuechly, Thomas Stevens insides.
Yeah.
And I know that Dylan Moses can play sideline to sideline.
I was just about to ask you about Dylan Moses.
I know he can play sideline to sideline. I'm looking at between the two of them. I think I'm gonna give them some secondary help. I think I want to give them Tyson Campbell, the corner out of Georgia. I think that's what I'm gonna prioritize. There you go, Tyson Campbell. Defend somebody. Him and Dante Jackson have 2 young corners on their outside.
That'd be interesting to watch.
It definitely would be.
All right, next is the Washington team.
The Washington team.
WFT.
And their needs are quarterback,
linebacker, safety, offensive tackle, wide receiver. The quarterback got taken care of in the 1st round, and the linebacker got taken care of in the 2nd round with Jabril Cox. So looking at safety, offensive tackle, or wide receiver. I mean, you got a couple good safeties. A couple receivers there.
No, I know. I really don't think they need that much help at wide receiver, honestly. Especially because they went and got Curtis Samuel. They went and got some guys out in the offseason.
They got Curtis and they got McLaurin. I don't think they're good.
And from what I hear, this guy has really good 2019 tape. He's a smaller school guy, but I think that he can definitely grow with that line. So I'm gonna give him Spencer Brown out of Northern Iowa.
Okay.
The right tackle.
All right.
Let's protect whoever's back there. You know, maybe it's Mac Jones. Maybe it's Dwayne Haskins wins the Steelers. I'm lying. It's gonna be Mac Jones. Let's protect Mac Jones because, for the love of God, his footwork is sloppy.
What if Fitzpatrick go?
Oh yeah, and Fitzpatrick's probably gonna start. So I mean that
another team that he fleeced.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if they're willing to pay, I'm not gonna sit up there and say I'm not gonna say nothing to it.
Get a bit upset with him. All right, next we got the Cowboys.
All right, I got 2 picks back to back because my Giants are out there.
Cowboys, they needed a cornerback, safety, D tackle, offensive tackle. And in the first round, they got was it Newsom? No, Patrick Surtain. Sorry, Patrick Surtain and Pat Freiermuth.
Okay. And you said my needs are what?
Defense.
Defense, pretty much.
Just
Safety,
defense, because at this
defensive
point,
tackle,
the
offensive tackle.
offense is pretty much set.
Mhm.
All right. So
Unless
I'm
you
not
would
even
put a
gonna,
line there for build that line for Dak.
I'm not even gonna waste time and need defense. I'm gonna give him Davion Nixon, D tackle sitting at the top of the board. D tackle out of Iowa. I'm gonna give him Davion. There we go.
Mhm.
BPA.
Yeah, go BPA. Build the D lineup.
All right. When you go your Giants. Let's see
All
how
right.
they went. Let's actually see how they went. Giants got Micah Parsons as number 11, and then Jalen Phillips at number 42.
Right.
Pretty solid picks on defense.
Yeah. But the problem was last year was getting dimes and with the offensive line. And so my main thing here is that the offensive line, we're still work in progress. Maybe Thomas started to come on a little bit towards the midway through the season. We still have holes at both our guard spots. Um, we had Shane Lemieux, we still have Will Hernandez. We're still gonna see what we're gonna do with those two. But I'm gonna kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. I am. It really hurts because I'm staring at Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like I'm really staring at him right now, and I really want to take him, but it's not gonna matter if we don't have a line to protect. So I'm gonna kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. I'm going to take my center Nick Gates. I want to shift him to my right guard spot, and I'm going to take Quinn Meinherz.
You made my life so much easier because I was dealing with the same conundrum. And I think he fits you guys' system a lot better than he would ours.
Yeah, I'm gonna take him because I think, like you said before with your last pick, I think you showed with Javante, he just brings a mean streak, some nastiness, some toughness to the line, swagger, confidence that we have not had in years. So we're gonna get Quinn. We're gonna put him to center. I've seen a lot of people putting us to guards, and like I was looking at Cleveland, I was looking at Aaron Banks and even more, but I'm like, I like Quinn over all those guys, and I just like the confidence that kid brings. So I put him at center. I moved Nick Gates to guard. I killed 2 birds with 1 stone. And now I just have to figure out my left tackle position, my left guard position. I wanted to take Amon-Ra so bad, but I had to look the other way as I hit the button. So I can find a receiver in the 4th round or something.
All right. Next, we got the Chargers for Jay. The Chargers selected Aziz Ojulari in the first round, the edge from Georgia. Trey Smith, the guard from Tennessee.
I mean, I feel like the Chargers don't necessarily even have a lot of pressing needs outside of those two.
The line is what they need. If you look there, tackle, cornerback, guard, tight end, wide receiver. I mean, you got to protect Justin Hubert there. Herbert, sorry.
So, and again, there aren't a lot of like high level prospects at this point. You said they need tackles,
offensive tackle, and offensive guard.
So I'm gonna give him Ben Cleveland here. Honestly, he's a mauler. He's a big body. He's nasty. He plays in a way where he can set the tone.
I like it because what did you give? We gave him you have Trey Smith and you have him. You have Trey Smith and you have Ben Cleveland, so that makes up for Forrest Lamp and Trey Turner. Both your guards are done. And they have they signed Corey Linsley as a center, and they have Brian Bulaga as their right tackle. So the main thing really is their left tackle position right now. But, I mean, we filled every other hole on the offensive line.
And I feel like honestly, if you're gonna attack the offensive line, the best way to do it is through the draft.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
All right, next we got the Vikings The Viking Raiders.
We're not going to talk about that.
This is their first pick since the first round. Number 14 with Christian Darrisaw, tackle from Virginia Tech.
What are my needs?
Needs are edge, guard, safety. Because you already got that tackle in the first round.
Edge, guard, and safety.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got the other side of this Pittsburgh D line staring at me in the face. So I'm not even going to pass it up. I want to take Patrick Jones, the edge out of Pittsburgh. I think if you can get him, especially in the third round, and you pair him up with Danielle Hunter coming off an injury, I think their edges will be pretty solid out there. And Mike Zimmer's gonna build through the draft like he always is. He's gonna build that defense up. So they got a tackle to help out. Now they're gonna start building that D line back up. Start getting the quarterback again. And they got Dalvin Tomlinson from the Giants. So
who is this again?
Defense, the edge.
Peyton Turner?
No,
it was Patrick Jones.
Patrick Jones. So just go to defense and then go into edge. You'll find them.
Golly, you went all the way down there?
That's where they have him ranked, but he's way better than whatever this rank they have him here is.
Yeah.
All right, Patrick Jones, edge from Pittsburgh. Going to the Vikings.
Back-to-back picks for Chucky. Oh boy.
And Mike Mayock. It's gonna be interesting.
Whoever's fastest.
Yeah, it's at this point.
So they got their guards they got a guard in Elijah Vera Tucker and Eric Stokes, cornerback from Georgia. Their needs are safety, linebacker, wide receiver, and tackle, offensive tackle. Because they already got their cornerback.
I mean, there aren't a lot of, I guess, there aren't a lot of safety prospects this year that you know will blow you out of the water, which is why I'm not really looking at safety. Linebacker. I mean, honestly, you kind of got to go with Dylan Moses here. Like he definitely does kind of fit what the Raiders want to do.
Okay. I was looking
like
at
you said, he's all over the field.
Yeah, I like it. Let's go Dylan Moses.
Joe, you got that second pick for the Raiders. The Raiders.
So you said they have
their needs are safety, cornerback, wide receiver, and tackle.
Do I really think these guys a receiver? I really don't. Let's see.
Give him Nico Collins. Give him Nico Collins.
You do have a guy and a polarizing guy at corner and Paulson at a depot, where you get half the people that are saying he could be one of the better corners, and then the other half are saying oh, he's trash. That's the crazy part about it too.
We give him Eric Stokes though. I want to give that again.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize that. You're right. Definitely did give him a corner.
We did?
Yeah.
We give him Eric Stokes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Eric Stokes. I'm honestly between two people. I'm between Amon-Ra St. Brown because they said he needed a receiver. I'm trying to think. I know. Well, they have Ruggs. They had Aguilar last year, but Aguilar's gone now. They have Brian Edwards.
And then they have what's his name? The tight end. Whose name I can't think of right now. Yeah, you got Darren Waller.
Amon-Ra sounds really good, but they need line help still. We got Vera Tucker. That takes care of the line. That takes care of the guard spot, but they have Incognito, but they still need tackle help.
No, they let him go.
Incognito came back. They resigned him again.
They resigned him again? Oh, I must have missed that one then.
Yeah. So they have Colton Miller at left tackle. Can't remember their other tackle, and I know their center position is still a little shaky, but they let go of Rodney Hudson. So I'm going to give them Jackson Carman, tackle out of Clemson. I think he could step in and he could immediately be their starting right tackle.
It's a strong play. It's a strong play.
Yeah.
Strong play.
All right. Jay, you're next with the Dolphins. Their needs.
Ah,
Let's see what
always,
they picked. Let me see what they picked.
always.
Devontae Smith, Cutie Pay, the cornerback from Syracuse. I'm not even gonna try that name. And Landon Dickerson from Alabama.
They're killing it right now.
They're lighting this draft up.
Yeah, they got their wide receiver. They got their center. Excuse me. Who else did they get? That was on that list. They got their cornerback. So they're looking at a tackle and running back.
Well, I mean, I feel like there's no wrong pick at this point in the draft. And so I'm going to give them Brady Chastain, the left tackle out of BYU.
Whoa.
I've been hearing his name a lot more, honestly.
Oh,
and
Brady
I know a lot of
Christensen?
teams kind of like him.
Damn, that's looking like a good draft right there for them right now as it is.
Brady Christensen?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Damn. Okay.
I did play with giving them Gainwell though.
Ooh,
I definitely did.
Okay. Okay.
I thought about it, but I'm like,
Joe, you got the Washington football team.
We're
feel
just
like
out here picking for rivals at this point.
I
Like
feel like
Pretty
I've
much.
everybody in my division.
you and me both. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not feeling great about this right now. I made most of those Miami picks.
All right. So we
Mac
want
Jones,
corner,
Jabril Cox, and
linebacker, and
Spencer
tackle.
Brown.
Okay. What are my needs?
Safety and wide receiver.
I really don't think they need. I don't
don't think they need a wide receiver at this point.
I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't
really
feel like they need a wide receiver at
I mean,
all.
finding something else for them. I mean, maybe a cornerback.
No. I know where I'm going.
Okay.
I know where I'm going. They're going Andre Cisco, the safety out of Syracuse.
That's interesting.
That's where they're going. See, Cisco was a ball hawk in 2019. It was 2019. I believe it was 2019, but it was 20 in Syracuse. Kid was like a ball, and I think he led the nation with like 8 interceptions. But I believe it was this past season he got hurt. I think it was in pregame warm-up. I believe he got hurt and he was out the entire year. But I think if they can hit on a ball hawk and free safety like him, I think they've pretty much set on every level of that defense. So that's where I'm gonna go.
Okay. Jay, you got
The Bears.
The Bears.
Oh my gosh! Of course I have the Eagles after this pick. You gotta be kidding me.
And I make a double, so don't play with me. So that's the thing with the Bears. We gave them Walter Little, so they're set at left tackle, supposedly.
Allegedly.
Gave him some wide receiver help with Elijah Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Some definitely some speed there. So what else are we looking at here? For needs, Paulinho. Linebacker.
Defensive tackle. No. Right here. Amigo.
Wrong team. Haha.
Yeah. Cornerback, wide receiver, defensive tackle.
Mm.
And if you could throw a quarterback in there, I guess. Give him Kelly Mond.
Honestly, I could definitely see no, I'm not gonna give him Kellen Mond after I just drafted freaking Mac Jones. That's disrespectful. I'm gonna give them a flyer on Paulson Adebo.
Ooh, okay.
Because I think honestly, if he pans out to help out that front,
okay.
No, wrong guy. Wrong guy. But still, wrong team. But I'm thinking the same thing. Paulson Adebo still on Chicago with 100% help. Khalil Mack gets the quarterback because again, Mack needs help, but Mack needs help all over that defense.
They did just lose Fuller too.
Yeah, and they just lost Fuller. So I mean,
you give him the cornerback, the cornerback from Stanford.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah.
All right, that fills that need.
Frickin'
Joe?
Eagles. All right.
The Eagles, Amigo.
Unfortunately. So we went
Let's see.
corner, receiver, and tight end. All right. What am I need? We went corner, receiver, and tight end. What am I need? What am I needs? I can't read that, so you gotta read it.
Corner,
Receiver.
receiver, tight end, safety, offensive tackle.
No.
For the Titans?
Eagles, man.
Oh, why did I just? I'm bugging. I'm
No.
sorry, guys. It's late.
Let me run
I'm
this
bugging.
one, man.
Because you ain't saying nothing. I'm looking at like what the.
I was about to. You're like, oh, I'm like, wait,
Oh.
what? What is he looking at? All right. They're saying quarterback, receiver, cornerback, linebacker, tight end. You got the cornerback, you got the linebacker already, and you got the tight end. So they're saying receiver at this point now is a need still on the board for them.
I got Kadarius Toney for the Eagles.
Oh yeah, you
that's
did.
right, you
You
did.
definitely did.
Yeah, you said corner, receiver, tight end. What else I need?
Linebacker.
Linebacker.
Ooh, there's a nice little prospect sitting right there.
Let me have
too.
this on the other side.
Oh God.
There's a
All
couple of guys there.
Well, I don't like it. I don't like this at all. But I mean, the kid's a ball. The kid's a hawk. Kid plays sideline to sideline. Can get after the quarterback. Kid flies around the field. He can play coverage. He's an ex-quarterback, linebacker from UNC. Chaz Surratt. Let's make him an Eagle. Let's make him.
I thought you were gonna go with the size.
Who was this again? I'm sorry.
Chaz Surratt, linebacker from UNC. Just an athletic kid, can read a defense.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback, it's a kick and nose.
From North Carolina?
Yep. That kid flies around the field, man. I like that kid.
He has some really, really nice tape. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Uh-huh.
All right. Jay, Titans next.
Wide receiver and corner.
Cornerback. Their needs left are tight end, safety, and tackle, offensive tackle.
You know, I'm gonna give him Brevin Jordan out of Miami.
Well, that's an interesting one.
That is an interesting one, but I think of the tight ends, I think he has probably the best chance there to
succeed.
You know, and then it gives another pass catcher next to AJ Brown. I mean, the one thing that you can probably kind of look at him and say, like, hey, you know, maybe he could work on his blocking a little bit. He can afford to get a little bit bigger, but outside of that.
Now it's for our Jets. Our needs are a quarterback, tackle, cornerback, linebacker, running back. We got the quarterback. We got the cornerback as well. We got a running back as well. So per this list, we still need a linebacker and a tackle.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm not going either place with that one.
That's fine.
I'm gonna get, because of the fact that I know for a fact that Jamison Crowder is going into the last year of his contract, and it's a $10 million deal. I'm gonna go and get the slot receiver of the future and probably a guy that can come in and make plays for us right now. And I'm gonna go with the guy who's tough. Like, kid is tough. He's nasty. He's about that life, and he's made for New York, in my opinion. And get Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Ooh.
We got a receiver. I
know that's what everybody was looking for. Like, oh, okay, when are we gonna get a receiver?
Okay,
and plus,
here's my question.
I just didn't think that the interior guys, or because like, as much as people say we need a tackle, at this point, any tackle we would take would be a project, so they're not going to play anyway. Mm-hmm. And I get George Fant has his contract's coming up, but he's still only 28, right? And I feel like with whatever position we end up with next year, we can definitely go out and get a top right tackle. So it doesn't make sense to spend the capital on it right now.
What about?
And there really isn't. What about what?
Amari Rodgers.
I mean, Amari Rodgers is, again, he's a guy who's a burner. Mm-hmm. He's a guy that can do a lot of different things, and I understand it. But I also look at the fact that we did go out and get Corey Davis. We did go out and get Cole, and Cole can kind of fill that role that Amari Rodgers would. And I just really like Amon-Ra St. Brown's game. Like, he's just so, he doesn't mind blocking. He doesn't mind being physical. He doesn't mind getting, catching in the middle of the field and making plays. Like, he's just a baller, honestly. And just to help fortify that wide receiver room that was ravaged by injuries. And then we're going to have like 3 or 4 guys coming back. So I do expect a lot of cuts and a lot of guys that kind of opted out on us last year. A lot of guys that were basically practice squad guys. I expect a lot of cuts there. And I think Amon-Ra comes in along with a lot of the offseason acquisitions that we have and brings a toughness to the receiving room that just wasn't there. It wasn't. Like, a lot of our guys got punked, and a lot of our guys cannot get any separation. A lot of our guys really, it just seemed like never took pride in trying to go get the ball. They all looked lost for the most part. Like, we had a couple of good plays here and there, but a lot of our receivers just looked lost. I mean, you correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I saw. So, I mean, bringing in guys like Corey Davis, bringing in guys, bringing in, the kid Cole, bringing in Amon-Ra St. Brown, like it surrounds a guy like Denzel Mims, where you can look at Corey Davis or Denzel Mims to develop into our number one. And it gives them the chance to really compete. And it gives Zach Wilson targets that are really moved to get open. And that's why I couldn't pass on Amon-Ra St. Brown here. I just couldn't.
Understandable. Joe, you picking up for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've drafted the tackle from North Dakota State, Dylan Raduns, and the cornerback from UCF, Aaron Robinson.
Okay.
Their needs left to be filled are tight end, running back, edge, and center.
Okay.
As one of the Pouncey brothers retired, as we kept saying.
Tight end, running back, edge, and center. Let's see. Where do I want to go with this pick? Well, I'm not gonna go center. I'm not gonna do. But
I don't think that the talent is even there for that.
There's not at this point. But I'm looking at a guy. I know these guys like to build their defense up. To me, at least according to my boards, he is probably the top edge left. And so there's somebody else up here, Jordan Smith. I'm not too familiar with him. I don't know if you are, but I haven't heard too much on him. But I do know about Quincy Roche, and I'm going to go Quincy Roche with this pick. I'm going to make him edge to the Steelers.
Go with the guys you know versus the guys you don't know.
Exactly.
I'm
going to be right back so I can find my charger.
Let's see here. I'm here for the Rams.
The Rams got Pete Werner, 57, linebacker from Ohio State. Their needs are linebacker, which was done already, center, edge, tackle, and cornerback.
I mean, as an edge, to me, there aren't really any tackles to take at this point, honestly. You said tackle, edge. What was the other one?
Edge, center, corner.
I could go corner here. I could, but I'm not. I personally think that the Rams are definitely a place where along that defensive line, like they have Aaron Donald, that defensive line is legit, but they do kind of need to get younger, and they probably could afford somewhat of a project guy. And the kid out of University of Alabama, Birmingham, says the negatives are he lacks strength and struggles to get off blocks. I think once you get with them boys and you get in that workout program with Sean McVay, you're going to bulk up a little bit. You're going to learn how to handle yourself. You're going to start to manhandle some people. So I'm going to give him Jordan Smith out of University of Alabama, Birmingham.
And I'm sure he's going to learn a lot from Aaron Darnold.
I absolutely agree.
You know, so if whatever issues he's had, he'll figure it out with him. He'll get it done. You know, so since we're waiting for Joe to get back, let's kind of make some time here. Let's go back to the Jets here, to our team. So we got Zach Wilson, Caleb Farley, Wyatt Davis, Vontae Williams, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's not a bad, you know, pick so far. I mean, I like this. I really do.
I mean, for me, it's you get the quarterback you want, according to reports. You get a guy who was arguably at one point in this process the top corner, but because of injury history, that got checked out. Honestly, like I remember reading the reports, like he got green lit. He's fine. He's good to go. The fact that he was still available at 23 was basically a miracle. So like you can't not take that. Wyatt Davis is probably as solid as it comes in terms of a guard. Like you can plug him in at the guard and we're good to go. We're rocking. Javonte Smith, you just can't, like the last two are not necessarily picks that you need.
But you could have passed up on them.
Yeah, you can pass up on them. And then you look at them relative to the talent that was left at other positions. And it's just like, all right, well, am I really going to go with position need over the talent when we're a team that is relatively talent deficient? I couldn't do that. I just couldn't do that.
Right. And Tevin Cole, I think he's up there in age too as well. So it's like,
yeah,
we have running back positions and wide receiver positions that you're going to have a turnover as it is.
Yeah. And then you're going to have a 3rd round pick possibly being your lead back, and then 2 undrafted guys that you hope pan out and that you hope can replicate their success. I don't really want to, you know, start Zach Wilson off in a situation where he has to depend on that, honestly, when I can give him a guy that is proven, that is strong, that is agile, and is really just about business. Like he's about getting it done, doesn't make any complaints, and just goes about his business, picks up his lunch pail and just goes about his business. And, you know, it kind of reminds me of like Chris Ivory in that way, and his approach to the game, where he was just out there knocking heads. So, you know, you give him a guy like that, and it's like, you know what? Make Zach Wilson's job easier. That's kind of how I see it. If we're going to take Zach Wilson, make his job easier. Make it so that he can be special a lot sooner. Right, and not have to worry about learning the offense. Because, again, he already has to come in and learn the offense, learn protections, and then has to study NFL defenses and all that other stuff. Like, make his job as easy as you can.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of how I see it.
So what happens? I leave you guys doing like a Jets review. What's going on here?
Yeah. Just kind of killing time.
You were taking too long, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right. So you're next with the Browns at pick 89. And this is interesting because the Browns pick at 89 and didn't get a 91. And then they had the linebacker from Notre Dame that they picked up, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. And then they got Boogie Basham, the edge from Wake Forest. So pretty much Jay gave him so much edge power. It's ridiculous now.
Because but that's the thing, though. I look at it too. Boogie can also move inside.
But see, here's the thing: Clowney, they signed Clowney, but they signed Clowney onto a 1-year deal. So,
right,
who was to say he resigns with them after this year? So that
there is no saying that. And then Clowney can also be effective on the inside as well. And he can be just as effective on the inside. So now you have an edge in Myles Garrett that can dominate the edges, but now you have 2 guys that can come in and play opposite of him, but then also play inside. And I believe you still have Sheldon Richardson on the Browns. Like, you still have Sheldon Richardson. You still have horses on the inside.
Yeah, that just pretty much refortifies their interior lineman. Thanks, Jay. Thank you.
I don't play them. I don't care.
No, I got a friend of mine who's a Browns fan, and yeah. All right, Joe. So their needs, the edge is already taken care of. The linebacker is taken care of. And the edge is because it was before the Clowney signing. So the needs now left are supposedly wide receiver and defensive tackle. Even though they still got Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. on the roster.
Yeah, I'm not too focused
I
on
mean-
the receiver aspect right now.
Kellen Mond from Texas A&M.
You must want the dog pound to kill me.
Add another name to the QB cemetery. I'm just saying.
I see. You know who I do like, who actually still is up here? I'm gonna go with former Giants younger brother, Osa Odigizua, D tackle out of UCLA. I'm gonna go with him. I've been hearing a lot about him. I personally am scarred from his older brother Owa not working out for the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want him, but but his brother plays D tackle. He plays inside. And people were watching him and like they were watching Levi Onwuzurike. So I've heard a
Yeah,
lot of
no, I've heard that he on some boards he's definitely like the third best defensive tackle.
he's pretty high on a lot of people's list. On other people's list, he's like really low for some reason. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Jay, you got the Vikings.
And
dang,
the Vikings.
Christian Darrison, Patrick Jones. Their needs are edge, which was taken care of, offensive guard, and safety, because the other need was offensive tackle, which was taken care of as well.
You know, I've been hearing a lot about this guy, and I'm not really sure what scheme too much they play out there in Minnesota, but I know that Dalvin Cook needs some boys to kind of move somebody around a little bit, or at least to hold somebody. So I'm gonna go with the versatile prospect. I'm gonna give him Kendrick Green out of Illinois, the offensive guard.
okay.
Guy who can play both center and guard. And you know, guy who can kind of just fill a need for him as they look to keep rebuilding on that offensive line.
All right.
Joe, you're back to the Browns for you, Joe.
Well, I'm back on the Browns, and I went D tackle this time, so I'm not even gonna waste time. I'm going to give them Amari Rogers, receiver out of Clemson.
I was thinking the same thing.
Wow.
Yep. I'm giving them Amari. Amari can move inside. He plays the slot. You got Jarvis, you got Odell on the outside. Play in the field. The kid's style. He's an jack of all trades. He's a jack, or whatever you want to call him. He can do it all. He can punt return. He can kick return. So
Another weapon for Baker Mayfield, pretty much.
Yep.
another weapon.
Oh, gotcha. And a guy that they can run jet sweeps and all that stuff with.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
Jay, you got the Packers who drafted Terrence Marshall Jr., receiver out of LSU, and linebacker Nick Bolton out of Missouri. So that leaves them with the needs of a cornerback, offensive tackle, and a D tackle.
So I'm gonna give them the big fella out of Ohio State. He's a little undersized, but I do believe that he put up 40 reps on the bench press. So kid's strong.
Okay.
Give them Tommy Togalani from Ohio State, the D tackle.
Strong like bull, Tommy.
All right. I am the Bills.
Damn, Jay, first time you're not picking for the AFC team, AFC East
I'm
team now.
saying, golly, man. Ugh.
All right.
So in the first round they got Najee Harris. Second round they got Joe Tryon, edge from Washington. Their needs
And their
left.
backup is Mr. Trubisky. So I mean, they pretty much fix whatever holes they have.
Yeah. So their needs apparently are cornerback, D tackle, tight end, and safety.
I'm gonna take a chance here. It might be a little early for him, but I love this kid out of USC, Talanoa Hufanga. I love this kid. I watched him play a couple of times watching USC this past season. He can go after the ball, but that can go. He comes downfield. Like he plays with some type of crazy type of anger.
Oh, the safety?
The safety of USC, yeah, he takes some people's heads off. So I'm gonna go with Talanoa Hufanga out of USC.
Is he another what was his name? He played for Pittsburgh.
Who, Palomalu?
Yeah, is he another Palomalu type?
Yeah, I could say he is. Yeah, that kid That kid, he throws his body around like nobody's business.
That was Palomalu.
Yeah, and he's got the hair too.
Really?
Yeah, he's got the hair, man. That
Yes.
kid,
Samoans.
you can ask my brother, man. Like every time I was like, who's this kid number 15? Every time, Hufunga. That kid's a baller.
Wow. All
Yeah.
right. Jay, you got the Chiefs. They drafted Samuel Cosby, tackle out of Texas, and wide receiver Rondell Moore out of Purdue. Their needs left are a center, line, and a linebacker. Out of the biggest needs.
I'm gonna give him a big linebacker out of Michigan, Cameron McGlure.
Okay.
Kid is huge, and he knows how to use his body. And honestly, he can cover a little bit. Like I really like his game. Again, but he's another guy who's a low overall, who's gonna need some coaching. But I like him.
He'll be all right in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, I got the Super Bowl champs again.
Yeah, their needs left are going to be cornerback, offensive guard, edge, because you already got the D tackle already for them.
To corner,
D tackle, edge. No, sorry.
we went D tackle already.
So it's going to be edge, corner, and offensive guard.
Offensive guard, huh? Guard's interesting. I'm looking at guard. I'm looking at Deonta Brown. I'm also looking at Aaron Banks. David Moore is another one that pops into mind. Robert Haynes is another one. But, these guys make their name on defense. And, I mean, you got JPP on one side. You got Shaq Barrett on the other side. I'm going to give them Peyton Turner. I'll give them an edge out of Houston. Give him another edge.
I was thinking, I'm like, yo, can this kid get some love? Like, he's been sitting on the board for mad long.
I'm going to give him Peyton Turner. Give him the edge out of Houston. Just keep that pass rusher. I can't never have enough pass rushers. So
his mama and his auntie and everybody, they're saying, thank you, about time.
I mean, hey, he got to be happy. He went to Super Bowl champion, so he's good where he's at.
Oh, yeah man. No state tax, so that's more money in his paycheck.
There you go. He took a little longer than expected, but he's on a championship team.
Jay, you're back to the AFC East. You got the Patriots.
So the main thing I can tell you about the Patriots right now is they got a bunch of no names out at receiver. And I know that's probably not even a need for them.
It is, actually. The remaining needs are running back, cornerback, and wide receiver. Well,
there really isn't a running back that I like at this point. Actually, there is. But for me, especially with a guy like Cam, you need guys that can go out and just go get it. And Harry, for all he's trying to do, is really the only guy out there. And they just lost Julian Edelman to retirement. So I'm gonna give them Damani Brown out of North Carolina, who in a lot of ways is very comparable to Amari Rodgers, just doesn't get as much love because of the school he went to. But dude he's a burner. He's fast, and they can use him in a variety of different ways. So I think New England definitely gets some of that speed back and get a guy that can definitely stretch the field for him.
Okay, Damani Brown. I'm not mad at that. All right.
All right, Joe. You're back with the Chargers. They got Azeez Ojulari, the edge at 13 in the first round, Trey Smith, the guard in the second, and Ben Cleveland earlier.
All right.
And their needs left are cornerback, wide receiver, and tight end. And a tackle, offensive tackle.
I can't even ignore him any longer. They need a receiver. I really don't believe they need a receiver. They have Mike Williams and they got Keenan Allen, but both kind of prove to sometimes be injury prone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna give him Tylan Wallace. Get him off the board. Give him another weapon for that offense. We've already turned up the line. We got, like I said, we got two guards. We got a center. They resigned a tackle. So I'm gonna give him I'm gonna give him
Definitely
Kyle.
not the route I would have gone, but
I was looking Dwayne Eskridge, but I was like,
I was looking at Nico Collins.
Well, I figured you already got 6'4", 6'5" Mike Williams on one side, 6'1", 6'2",
Yeah.
Keenan Allen on the other side. You put
Yeah.
6 foot Tylen Wallace in the slot and you'd be good.
Yeah.
All right. Now we got the Saints. The Saints' needs are a quarterback because obviously Drew Brees just retired. Wide receiver, linebacker, D tackle, and a safety. They got Greg Newsome in the first round and Ronnie Perkins the edge in the second.
So here's my thing with the Saints. They just re-signed Taysom Hill. They just re-signed Jameis Winston.
Well, Taysom Hill's contract is a crazy one.
Yeah.
Where it's like they can cut him or release him like anytime they want. And he's not on the books. And James, I think, got another 1-year deal with them.
It's tough. You know what?
Because the thing is, like, I mean, if you get him a quarterback now, like, I don't think that there's talent in the quarterback pool right now.
I do.
You think so?
Too.
I definitely do.
Yeah,
I definitely do.
There's
At
two.
this point in the draft, there's 3 guys, really. There's 3.
Yeah, three. Yeah, but I'm looking at 2.
Who's the third one? Who's the third one for you, Jay?
So where you go?
The first 3 that you see.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you would have said Felipe Franks.
What? God. What? Don't disrespect me like that. That's just rude on so many levels. Don't you dare. Ever in your life fix your face to say that. I should smack the boo-boo off your face. That is disrespectful.
Jay's not a the
Golly.
Hey,
okay, so you're looking
at last year Arkansas though.
Yeah, the transfer from Florida.
No,
he did improve last year Arkansas.
So you're looking at Kellen Mond, Davis Mills, and Kyle Trask as possibilities for the Saints to draft a QB.
Yeah.
Looking.
This one's kind of tough. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because I feel like in the 3rd round would probably be the best. Would be a good spot to look for a guy. Honestly, because they pretty much are more or less set on when it comes to their weapons. Like you can go and get them another weapon, but do they really need another weapon?
They got to find a replacement for Drew Brees. They need to.
Yeah, and that's it. But again, that guy could already be in the building, so it's not. I'm not going to sit up here and say that Jameis Winston was all bad, and I'm not going to sit up here and think Sean Payton can't fix Jameis Winston.
Well, did he? Yeah, I remember one snap that he played. Did he play any games besides that?
I don't believe he did. But then I also look at Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill, at some points, when Taysom Hill was playing and he played for extended time, he looked like an absolute stud. But then again, isn't he like 31?
Yeah, and he has a bad track of injuries too as well.
Yeah, and so like there's that. So that's why it's tough. Because right now I'm looking at it like Davis Mills had a really good pro day. Really good pro day, got a lot of buzz coming out of it. Kyle Trask had a good pro day, but the fact that he missed the Senior Bowl really did hurt him. And, he played okay last season, but he didn't play great. And I saw some of the footage from Kellen Mond. Kellen Mond can sling it. Like, Kellen Mond can sling it. And,
at one point, he was up there, too.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm not even going to overthink this. I'm going to give them Kellen Mond here just because of the fact that I think his deficiencies can not only be protected by the Saints, by that coaching staff, but some of his deficiencies can definitely be fixed working with Sean Payton. And I think
having a weapon,
having a guy who's athletic with a strong arm kind of mirrors what you got with Drew Brees. And obviously Sean Payton was able to maximize Drew Brees to the umpteenth power. And I think he can have a similar effect. I'm not saying that he's going to beat Drew Brees, but I think he can have the same kind of effect on Kellen Mond.
All right.
Okay. Now got Joe picking for the NFC East for the Cowboys.
It's past my bedtime.
So their need that's left are safety and offensive tackle.
All right. Well, I got one of the better safeties still in the draft. He actually is a top 5 in most people's books. Our Darius Washington, safety out of TCU. I'll be taking him with this selection right here.
Interesting. All right. Jay, back to the Titans. We got Rashad Bateman in the first round, second round, Calvin Joseph, and then Brevin Jordan earlier. A lot of their needs got filled in receiver, cornerback, and tight end. So what's left, they say, is safety and offensive tackle. But as we know, they let 2 cornerbacks go. So there's 2 quarterback slots open. Now, do you see a viable cornerback available that will help fill that spot? Or are you going to go somewhere else?
I really don't. But this is a tough one because of the fact of you know what? I am gonna give him a corner. I'm gonna give him Ambry Thomas from Michigan.
Ambry Thomas, huh?
Ambry Thomas from Michigan.
Okay. All right. I'm up with the Lions. I've gone tight end, linebacker, and corner.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Their needs are wide receiver, safety, pretty much, because you got the linebacker and you got the corner. They say quarterback, but like we said, they traded for Jared Goff, so they still got to figure that out.
You can basically say wide receivers filled in a lot of ways too with Kyle Pitts because he's a weapon. But I mean, getting them some more weapons for Jared Goff would not help, especially after they lost their big gun.
Yeah, that's my main thing here. Like, you lost Galladay, you lost Marvin Jones. Yeah, they have Pitts and they have Hawkinson, and I don't think they have another receiver besides maybe Marvin Hall. Can't think of any other receivers, so I'm going to give them Dwayne Eskridge, receiver out of Western Michigan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
for Nico Collins?
Yep.
Okay.
They got some size with Pitts and they got some size with Hawkinson, so I'm gonna give them some speed, some game breaking speed to top off the defense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Jay, you're next with the Niners. They got Trey Lance at 3, and then 43, they got Levi Onwuzurike. Azurike. Their needs left are cornerback, edge, offensive tackle. Offensive center. Sorry.
The problem with a lot of the offensive guys right now is that, you know, there's a talent drop off, and that's why they say, you know, you got to get those guys early. But there is a guy here who I've heard about out of Vanderbilt who is some have him as an edge, some have him as a D tackle. But of course, with the 49ers, like, you can never have too many of those guys. So I'm gonna get Deo Adinyokbo out of Vanderbilt, the edge.
All right. So let's see. I have the Rams. I've gone linebacker and edge. What are my needs, Paul? Gone linebacker and edge so far.
The needs are a center, offensive tackle, and a cornerback.
I'm going corner. I will go Trill Williams. Actually, scratch that. Don't pick him yet. I'm going to go Robert Rochelle, corner out of Central Arkansas instead, actually.
Okay.
Getting one of those small school guys, eh?
Mm-hmm. Getting a little small school guy.
All right. Next is the Ravens. The Ravens, they picked up Gregory Rousseau, the edge out of Miami. In the second round, they got Javon Holland, safety out of Oregon, shoring up their defense. Their needs are wide receiver and offensive tackle.
I know exactly where I go here.
Yep. It's pretty obvious. I'm gonna give them Nico Collins. They need as many pass catchers as you can get
Yep.
from that standpoint.
I ain't mad at that at all.
And with the last pick in the third round, Joe, you got the Saints again. Oh no, wait, Jay had the Saints last time. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've gone corner, edge, and quarterback. So
Yeah,
what am I doing?
their needs are defensive tackle and safety
I'm gonna go Tyler Shelvin, D tackle at LSU.
and linebacker. Sorry, linebacker as well too.
I'm sticking with my pick. I'm gonna go Tyler Shelvin, D tackle out of LSU. That's where I'm going.
There it is. Yep.
All right. The third round's in the books, and we still have a lot of people that are still up there. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
still a lot of names up there. Like, I wish I could have saw. I wish I would have said it's a 4 rounds, so I could have seen who was still available.
That's the only downside to this.
Yeah.
I can't see who else was there.
Mm-hmm. That's the only thing I wish I could have seen instead. But I mean,
but I know Kenneth Gainwell was still there, and I know he's been getting a lot of buzz. But unfortunately, the issue is again, it's a running back issue. It's the issue that we've run into a lot this year. A lot of teams are going running back by committee. So, right. And a lot of teams went out and got backs, or they already have, bell cows. So, I mean, anybody else is just icing on top of the cake. And so many teams have so many other needs that looking at a running back right now, unfortunately, a lot of those guys are going to drop, in my opinion.
No, definitely. I mean, you still have, he's up there, and people are still high on like a Jaret Patterson. Jaret Patterson still's on the board.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of people.
But what I noticed too is at some point it's around the middle of the third round, end of the second round, that offensive tackle, the crop dries up really quick. The guard, there was still a lot of really good guards there though.
Yeah, I know both guards from Notre Dame were still there. Aaron Banks and Robert Hainsey were both still there. And I believe Deonta Brown was still there.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it just goes to show that there's a lot of depth in the interior line. But, I mean, in terms of, like, the centers, I guess the pure centers, there's maybe, like, 5 or 6 guys. And then outside of that, it's like, you're just kind of throwing it at the wall and hope it sticks.
Yeah, like, the thing is, like, with this draft, like, when I was looking at it, and I looked at, like, how we picked for the Giants and everything, just for, like, because I know you got to talk about the Jets. Like, I like the draft. But, like, I think if I would have went back, I think I probably would have took a receiver. I probably would have took Amon-Ra third round. And then I could have went back and got, like, a Aaron Banks or Robert Hainsey in the fourth. But, I mean, the way I still look at it, like, the Giants, still had, like, a Tutu Atwell still up there. It's Marquez Stevenson, Seth Williams, Jalen Darden, Demetric Felton, Anthony Schwartz, Shai Smith, like, so there's
still so many receivers left. And I feel like, unfortunately for those guys, like, it's the same issue with the running backs this year, is that the class is so deep and there's so many quality guys that a lot of teams are going to look to push back those needs until the later rounds. So we may see like little mini runs here and there, but we're probably not going to see a lot of runs on the skill position guys because so many other needs are, like, so many other positions are not as deep.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at even the running backs. Like, we said that Kenneth Gainwell was left. Like, Kenneth Gainwell was left. Trey Sermon was still left. Ramondre Stevenson, Khalil Herbert, Chuba Hubbard, Kylan Hill, Elijah Mitchell, Jaret Patterson, Larry Roundtree. Like, all these people were still available in the fourth round and moving on. Like, because after those 2 or 3, after Najee and Etienne, Javonte and Michael Carter, like, it's like, see what happens. Like, those
it's a little
4,
bit
like, it's tough. Those top 4, I'm probably going to go 3rd, 4th round, but after that,
you may not hear another guy until like the end of the 4th round, early 5th round.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you might be able to get I think somebody's going to take Chuba Hubbard in the 3rd or 4th. I think somebody's going to see him and see how he could be as an NFL back. But, like, you might get like a Trey Sermon in like the 5th round. Like,
yeah,
you really might. Like, it's crazy how we weren't even It's crazy how we weren't even really like prioritizing the running back role at all. Like,
No.
because you like we were saying, like you can literally sit here and think of every team and just be like, oh well, we have 2 backs on this team. There's 2 backs for this team. There's 2 backs for that team. Like, so what do I have to draft one for in the
Exactly.
round before the fifth?
So high, and pay so much money
Yeah.
for it. And that's the thing too. People need to realize this is why running backs always try and go for their bag like after their rookie contract, because majority of them
You
they
only
don't
get
make
one.
much money. They don't make much money at the rookie contract because, like again, like we're saying, these guys are getting drafted in the late rounds.
Yeah.
You know,
And
Like,
you draft them in bunches. So it's like if a couple of guys don't shake out, at least they're serviceable. And the one guy that pops, you haven't played him enough to where he can say, like, hey, I deserve all this money, where you can get him on a cheap second contract and then you feature him. And then you take that next step, because more or less you have to save money for your quarterbacks. Like you have to save money to try and fortify your offensive line or fortify your secondary. Like all those guys are making so much money that you have to kind of supplement those other areas in the draft, which means all those other positions are going to get pushed all the way back because you're going to try to get the premium picks early on so that, they're making all the money, but they're also young and you have control over them for 6, 7, 8 years.
And so when I look at it now, like I went through the running backs and the receivers. With the quarterbacks, we still had Davis Mills and Trask, which I'll probably believe are both going to probably go on by the 4th, because I think people like we were talking about, people are loving Davis Mills. So
and that's the thing. It's just a matter of who's going to bite on them, because even the guys that we passed on, it's either they have young quarterbacks or they're pretty set at quarterback. Like there's not a lot of teams that I can see taking the real risk on them. Like this would have to me been the year where it's like, oh, okay, maybe I can see them I can see Green Bay taking a quarterback somewhere in the second or the third round. But like they took Jordan Love, so there's no reason to go back to the well there.
Yeah.
I mean, the tight ends, you had Tommy Tremble, like that you were talking about before we started, was available. Trey McKitty was available. Tackles, there was still James Hudson, the tackle we watched from Cincinnati, was out there. We talked about the guards. And then, I mean, defensive wise, we still had some names for defense too. I think we still have Bobby Brown, Jalen Twyman, the guy you like, Marvin Wilson, he was still available.
Charles Snowden, who's like that enigma of you don't know what the hell he's gonna be. He's just massive. Like he's Isaiah. What's his name? The linebacker that somebody took the Cardinals took last year. Isaiah something. Isaiah Simmons. Like he's just freakish in terms of size. You just don't really know where to play him just yet.
He's just tall and lanky. He's like 6'7" though.
So it's like, do you have him sit up there as a linebacker? Do you kind of try to develop him into an edge? Like, you can use him. It's just a matter of where to use him at.
Oh yeah.
You still had, Tony Fields, the second out of Georgia, who, although undersized, is still a dog.
I know.
Like you had a lot of the undersized guys still there at linebacker. Where,
like
you may not get the coverage, but you're going to get guys that are going to bang for you.
Oh, yeah. You got Monty Rice, Derek Barnes, Riley Cole, Justin Hilliard, KJ Britt. There are still kids up here. Grant Stewart was still up here. Ernest Jones, Patty Fisher, Tuff Borland. Like, there's still names up there
that you're still gonna get in the latter half of the draft. And I think that honestly, for the GMs this year, like because of the fact that a lot of guys opted out, there wasn't a lot of there were a lot of games played, but there weren't a lot of games played at the same time. Like you're really gonna have to make your bones 4th round and 4 to 7. Because I mean, I feel like the first 2 rounds are pretty cut and dry. 3rd round, it kind of gets a little, you may kind of reach that Kellen Mond pick. It's like, you're gonna kind of have to play with it. But then come 4th and down, like this is where you really got to lean on your scouts. You got to lean on your football people on the inside, because like you said, there's a lot of guys out there. But do those guys fit? Can those guys translate? Do they fit your culture? Like, I feel like a lot of teams are really going to make or break their draft in the 4th, 7th round, because you can still get quality guys at that point.
Definitely. There's like just people like I hope the Giants like trade back because there's people like you can get extra 2 to 3 picks.
Yeah.
You can get kids that are going to that are second and third round talents in the fourth and possibly fifth this year. Like there's certain positions that are so deep. But
Yeah.
I mean this was awesome. I think I don't know if you I know we were talking about before trying to possibly do a draft with a trade and stuff. So we can look into do something like that.
I mean, we definitely could, but I think there's a level of chaos to that.
Oh yeah,
That'll probably mirror the draft room.
we'll see.
There's a lot because we got to figure out how to do that and make it work successfully. And I think a lot of people might not like it, but it's we're looking at what we hear, like again, like something like I'm not sure if anybody's heard this, but the rumors are out there that the Niners are trying to look at Mac Jones at 3, which we're trying to still figure out if it's a smokescreen or are they for real or what.
And then today, like there's this really nice picture coming out of Kyle Shanahan going right up to Justin Fields, and they're both smiling and kikiing and having a good old time.
It just points to how can you pick Mac Jones over Justin Fields and Trey Lance? Like that's my thing. Like I think to me in my opinion, Justin Fields is the clear cut number 3, possibly number 2. Probably he might be a number 2 quarterback in the draft, but I think he's head and shoulders above Mac Jones. So I don't know how you can walk up to that, or I don't know how you can sign that card at pick 3.
Here's the thing. I think I don't even think Mac Jones is top 4. I think he's top 5.
Yeah, I have him at 5.
Yeah,
I have him at 5. I have Trey Lance over him, but
me too.
I feel like most of the guys in our group would have probably ranked him at 5.
Yeah,
honestly,
it's just honestly, it's like I can't. And we always say it. It's tough to say, but like, cannot believe in the whole Bama quarterback thing. It really sucks.
You can't.
Like, I mean, you see, like before, like Tua's come out and Tua's been okay the time he had last year, but like before that, like what Bama quarterbacks have really done much. So it's like you look at Mac Jones and this kid had the best offensive line or one of the best offensive lines in college football, the best running back in the best running back in college football, the best
top receivers.
Like just
Devontae Smith and Waddle was healthy. Like, come on.
And honestly, even in the beginning of the season, barely won the starting job. Barely.
Yeah, he almost lost to Bryce Young.
Yeah. So I mean, like it's not to say that he's not a good quarterback, and I think that's what anybody who comments on this will say. We're nobody's saying that he's a bad quarterback. We're just saying he's not the number 3 guy.
Yeah, I don't see him. I don't see how.
I don't see how. Like we drafted him at what 19,
15 to the Panthers. I mean the Patriots.
No, I mean in this draft we had
Mac
him at
Jones.
19.
He went to the
Mac,
he went to Washington.
Which again, I don't see a problem with that.
You went to Washington. Hold on, I still got it up here. I gotta find Washington.
I don't either.
Because I think
yeah, you're right. 19.
Up his footwork. 19. He is a poor man's Alex Smith. So I mean, that's not a knock on him. And then you put him with the defense that's pretty dominant.
Hey, for all we know,
receivers.
Because there's a picture out there with him with no shirt on, and he's like, he's a little overweight, and that's fine. And for all we know, he could be the next Tom Brady. Because when everybody look at Tom Brady, look at this picture, they don't like a quarterback. And
I mean, I put you this way: you watch his film, you put it next to Brady's, it looks eerily similar. I'm not saying that he's Tom Brady. I'm saying the form kind of looks the same. The way he takes the steps, like the way he moves, kind of looks the same. So maybe we're all wrong, and maybe he is, Tom Brady 2.0. But just looking at, given the evidence that we're given right now, I can't put him above Justin Fields. I just can't. Hell, I'm having trouble putting Zach Wilson above Justin Fields. Personally,
it's really just what these organizations want in their quarterback. But I just, like I said, I couldn't be John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan and on the 49ers and see Justin Fields sitting on the board and Trey Lance sitting on the board and walk up and hand that card in as Matt Jones.
Yeah, like
Couldn't see it.
Even Trey Lance, like you can make the case because the kid produced the way he produced, even if it isn't limited time, and he is as athletic and as big and as strong. Like he screams
like
Josh
boo.
Allen 2.0.
And the thing is, if he goes to San Francisco, he can sit at least a
He
year.
Can sit.
He can sit
let
behind Jimmy
play
G.
out his contract. You can let Jimmy fight. And if you
So-
decide to re-sign Jimmy, at least you got a piece.
Trey,
You can pull a Belichick and trade him out.
Trey's in a good position if he goes to San Francisco or Atlanta at 3 or 4. He's fine. He's not forced to start. He can just sit back, work on his stuff, and get himself ready for when he's asked to start. He's ready to go.
I mean, I don't even know where else he'd actually go personally outside of those 2 spots.
Right.
But you know,
if he gets past them, he's gonna drop.
Yeah.
He's gonna drop.
I mean, he may drop, but another team may jump up and go get him.
Oh,
That's
no
why
doubt.
I'm not thinking about.
But see, here's the thing though. It's like I told friends earlier when I told them about when we did this, and I said like, hey, Justin Fields dropped to 15. They're like, in what world? I'm like, well, look at the picks. Look at who needs quarterbacks. You know, we didn't do no trade, so it's like it just went through. You know, it's like, why trade up if like nobody's there in front of you that needs a quarterback? But then again, it's like a team like Chicago need a quarterback, but do they have draft equity? Do they have any equity to move up?
No. A team like Washington, I've heard has been trying to move up. So I mean, I look at it as a situation where, as much as I know, you know, trading within the division is kind of frowned upon.
Right. And here's the thing.
Look at the Giants at 11. If they really love Ojulari, but they don't want to have to deal with the heat of, you know, taking him at 11 and him being quote unquote drafted too high, you move back 8 spots. You really think he's not going to be there?
And here's the thing too. It's like, what was I say? I forgot my train of thought now. We spoke about it earlier.
It's late. We're all kind of running off fumes at this point.
Yeah. Where was like it was going more on the quarterbacks.
I mean, hell, you get out of the top 10 and Trey Lance isn't there, right?
Oh, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The team that's trading back, they might not have like another pick in the first round. So like, are you really gonna trade out of the first round, lose on the ability of trading any first round talent that you really want for what? For where you can't pick until next year?
True.
I mean, you have any team that's moving back has to be thinking, all right, I'm moving back, but I want to stay in the first round. Kind of like what the Dolphins did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they moved back from like 3 to like 12 back to 6. And I'll give them credit. They finessed the crap out of that thing. I don't know how they did, but they did it. So
that
they
front
moved.
office is phenomenal.
Yeah. So they're still getting like all their picks, and they got more picks just to move down 3 spots at the end of the day. So like this first round, you're gonna find what you need no matter what. Now it's a matter if you need a quarterback. Do you really need to move up? Can you afford to move up?
I mean, I think the teams that need a quarterback, that are desperate need of a quarterback, they have to move up. Because if you look at the teams, it's a team like the Steelers, where, yeah, they're going to rock out with Ben one more year, sure, bang, bang, boom. But after this year, who the fuck is on that roster?
They got Dwayne Haskins, or if they need to make sure that he
who
matures.
Who is on that roster?
They need to make sure he matures enough, because that was his issue, his maturity level. That's why they let him go over in Washington.
And I repeat, who the fuck is on that roster?
The Steelers quarterbacks?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they have Ben Haskins, Mason Rudolph, and they just signed Josh Dobbs. That's why I've been waiting for them to draft a quarterback for years. But it's what we've been talking about before. Like, these teams, unfortunately, with these really old quarterbacks, do so well during the year that they don't have these quarterbacks that are franchise changers fall to them. So they have to go the route of trying to find bridges. But their team, if their quarterback succeeds too well as being a bridge quarterback, they still won't get those top picks. So they have to sit here and hope that they could get somebody in the middle rounds and try to, bring them along like that. Like, that's why they got like a Garrett Grayson. and JT Barrett, all these people that they were like same time to actually talk about actually. They're another team. Like you have a Drew Brees, so then you bring in other quarterbacks. You have a Garrett Grayson, you have JT Barrett, you have Taysom Hill, you have James Winston. Like you have 4 or 5 quarterbacks that you're sitting on your team because your team does so well that you don't ever see that chance to get that quarterback unless you're going to make like a massive trade up. Like if you're the Steelers, you're going to trade it from 22 to 7 and try to mortgage your future.
And that's what I'm saying. You kind of got to look at it from a stance of if a guy like Trey Lance drops out of the top 10.
How far are we talking now?
How far? That's what I'm saying. Like how? If I'm the Steelers, like you kind of got to start to play with the idea of like, what can we do to move up to go get this kid?
It honestly, it really, it's tough because I remember a couple years ago, the Giants still had Eli Manning at quarterback, and it was the year Patrick Mahomes was coming out, and we still had Jerry Reese. Like, I believe it was our last year. We tried to trade up, but the thing is, the Giants did so well that year. I think that was the year we lost in I want to say the wild card. I think we were around like pick like 23 or something like that. And we ended up taking Ingram that year, but we were trying to trade up from 23 to 10 to get Patrick Mahomes. But the asking price was just like way too astronomically high for us. Like, we were going to be giving up like multiple first round picks and stuff. So it's like all this point value crap that's going on. If you get a team like if Trey Lance somehow drops to like 17 and you're at 22, you're within striking range.
Right.
But if somebody drops to like if Trey Lance drops to like the Giants at 11 and you're at 22, you're going to have to pay up some stuff.
Right.
Capital to move up. Like it's really,
not to mention like that's what I'm saying. Like I can see a Washington coming up 8 spots to go and get a Trey Lance. I could see that, even though the whole interdivision thing.
I doubt it. They gotta jump. They
10,
gotta
11, and 12. That's Cowboys, Giants, and Eagles we're not trading back that far.
Yeah. So I mean, like that's the trouble.
So you got to trade to either 9 with the Broncos, which means you're trading into the top 10, which is going to be a lot more capital, or you have to trade to
13, which is the Chargers.
You got to trade up to 15 to see if they're cool with that. Like,
right.
So I mean, and you have to hope that other team doesn't try to be like, all right, well, we're at 14, let's move up to 12 because we're not in your division, and they're like, all right, sure, you can take this pick, we'll move back 2 slots. Like,
because right now Jacksonville Jets, San Fran, and Atlanta need quarterbacks, and the last two.
I mean, Atlanta's finicky.
Yeah, and I was saying the last 2 pretty much the quarterback. If they do draft the quarterback, he's sitting. He's not started. He's sitting.
Right.
The one in San Fran probably has a better chance of starting because of the fact that Jimmy's job is not guaranteed to him anymore.
He won't start, but not week 1 at least. He won't start.
No, but he might. He has a fighting chance at least if he shows off and if they draft if San Fran drafts a quarterback in 3 and that kid shows off in preseason, he might end up starting.
Oh yeah,
and you can't blame them because like, how are you going to sit a kid that's showing off? How are you going to sit him down and bench him? You can't.
I mean, the way I kind of look at it is if Trey Lance drops out of the top 5, right? I'm looking at like Minnesota at like 14 from the Steelers. I mean, that's trading up 10 spots, but still doable.
It's doable, but it's going to cost you. I'm telling you.
And it's like, and then you kind of got to look at the argument of like, is Bill Belichick going to take the chance on Trey Lance? I mean, he could.
I think if there was ever a year to do it, it's this year because they've been super aggressive very, very well. So
yeah. So I mean, like, but again, is it for Trey Lance or like what happened in our draft where Justin Fields magically falls?
We'll see. And it's crazy. Like the draft really starts at 4 this year because let's be honest, first 3 picks are quarterbacks. Now, regardless of who's going to be, obviously the first 2 are pretty much a lock. San Fran is the wild card.
Unfortunately,
Yes, San Fran's the wild card as to who they're picking because everybody's hearing Mac Jones, but we all can't believe they would pass on Trey
Nope.
or Jones. But
Oh.
which leaves you at 4 to the Falcons.
That's who actually have said they want to move back.
I know, and the Lions too. Like
that want to move back. So it's like
the draft.
Who would realistically who would be able to like
who has the cap and wants and needs a quarterback?
Big thing.
And that's the thing though. It's like if they want to move back, what are they looking? What are they looking to draft?
And who has the draft capital to move up to 4, and who actually needs a quarterback? Like, what are you trading up for? That's the biggest thing.
Right.
I mean, again, I've heard a lot about the whole Kyle Pitts thing. I've heard some about like, you know, what if a team decides to trade? Because the only way you're getting penny swell is if you jump above the
Bengals.
So yeah. I mean, I don't see a team that's there in the top 15 that can jump into 4. Honestly, I don't see it. I mean the Broncos maybe, but
Carolina maybe.
I don't know, man.
But here's the thing, though.
They just gave up capital for Sam, so it's like, no, it's not a lot this year, but you just gave up a 2nd and a 4th next year. So unless you're willing to, you know, drop a 1st again next year with all the holes that they still have, I don't see it.
Yeah, because the thing is I can see the Dolphins moving back from 6 again.
Yeah.
If it's right. You know?
Yeah.
Because I mean for them it's like we'll just get more draft picks.
Right.
You know?
And there's nobody even in the top 15 outside of like the Patriots that have such a pressing need at any one position that they would spend that much capital to move up.
And here's the thing too, we have to be wary of the teams that like they can go anywhere, like they can pick any player or best player available and they'll be all right no matter what.
You look at a team like the Chargers or the Vikings, like those are the 2 teams I look at, like the 13-14 spot is like, you know, and you've also seen the Eagles be willing to move back for, you know, because apparently they don't really see a need for any of the top guys, which I don't personally understand, but to each their own, because again, at 12, they can still get the guy they want, JC Horn, if that's the guy they want.
Right.
So that's also, this draft is weird in that way where it's like there aren't a lot of, like the teams that need to move up aren't in striking distance to move up, nor do they have the capital to move.
Well, the Eagles only have like $5 million cap space right now.
So I mean, yeah, like I
mean, they're trying to move. They might try to move back just to kind of like stay under the cap space for the rookies.
But I mean, again, even if they move back to where? Where are you moving to? And for whom?
I don't know. This is the same team that lost just to get a better draft pick, just to trade it back.
Yeah, like that's the strange part about.
Yeah,
that's the thing about this draft is like all the teams that solved their problem in the offseason no longer have an issue. But the teams that have the issue have been too good this past year to address it. Basically, the Steelers and the Saints. So it's like, because both those teams, I feel like anyway, are secure enough in their teams outside of their quarterback position where they could move up and they could kind of mortgage their future for now. Like their window could still be open with the right guy.
The Steelers aren't like Steelers one of those teams that I just don't remember ever being bad. So like regardless of what these guys really do, it's like they could. That's like one of the only things I can really see. Like if Fields or Lance drop out of like the 10, or they're available at like 12 or 13, and the Steelers are sitting there at like 21, 22, whatever they're at. Like,
they're sitting at 24.
24. 24 to 12 is a lot, but I mean, if you think Trey Lance is gonna be the future of your team, like everybody says, if you think that guy's your guy, go get him. I mean, if you can, if maybe after Ben leaves, if Ben leaves next year, and you guys put up another, 10-7 season or whatever, or 11-6, and find yourself in the playoffs, like, what are you gonna do at quarterback? Like,
Yeah,
that's the main
and that's the
thing.
thing. But then do you trade your next 3 years of first round picks, even though if you expect them to be low, then the hell.
If you're projecting to be low, if you're gonna hit at least like the 23, 24 slot every year, then you probably could. But if you're gonna lose Ben and go from 25-6, then no. Like,
Yeah.
but again, that's why you have the bridge quarterback that's at least gonna manage a game for you. But
And
I don't know.
again, even if say if the Steelers do move up to get Trey Lance, right? That doesn't mean that you don't see what you have in the other two guys. Because you could realistically, you have Taysom Hill, whose contract you can cut him at any given moment if you don't want him. And then you have Jameis Winston that he's only there for this year. So you can give both guys a shot and sit Trey Lance theoretically for 2 years if you really wanted to. And then, 2023, 2024, pump him out there. You've now got this super strong armed quarterback who can make all the throws and can get you out of trouble with his legs, and it's hard to tackle and it's hard to take down. Now he has an NFL body. He's been under Sean Payton's system for the last 2 years. Like, now you're cooking with something.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I could see, like you took Kellen Mond. I like that pick. Like, you see somebody like Kellen Mond who actually has been, rising up a lot of draft boards, and since we've been watching the season, especially starting with the Senior Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
come a long way from just being like a scrambling quarterback to actually being a quarterback that likes to sit in the pocket and throw.
Right.
So I mean, you could always take somebody like him. Again, another one, Davis Mills, he's available.
Mm-hmm.
You can pocket him probably third, fourth round, and like you said, sit on these guys for a year, maybe two, and then you have an NFL quarterback, NFL ready quarterback ready to go and take over the franchise next 15, 20 years. So.
Yeah, and you don't have to mortgage your future. So I mean, that's the tough part for a guy like Trey Lance. It's like if you don't hit after that third one, and there's not a lot of teams that are there to trade up. Now, I mean, again, like you said, is old Bill gonna be like, you know what? I don't really care. I signed all the guys I want. I don't plan on drafting any more guys anytime soon. I got the guys I want. I just need the quarterback in the future after camp. If that's the case, then yeah, like you said, go get your guy. Move up to 7, move up to 4. Like, go get him. But if Bill's like, nah, he's too raw, I don't want him. Even if he drops to 15, once he drops out of 15, it's like, bro, I need cash. I mean, you even look at the team like Tennessee. Like, how long is Ryan Tannehill? And then he just signed a new deal.
Let me check.
Like, he just got paid like a year or so ago, and I think it was like 4 years, $80 million, something like that.
Yeah, it was like a year or two ago. They decided to take him over Derrick Henry. So
yeah, they signed him they signed him last year. He got a nice deal.
I mean, and you still got the Kirk Cousins deal. Because, like, that's the thing that nobody's talking about with Minnesota. It's like, yeah, I get it. Kirk Cousins is there for, at least another 2 years, I'm assuming. But
unless they have some type of clause to get out of it without a lot of money.
Yeah.
So Tannehill signed a 4-year, $118 million contract with the Tennessee Titans March of last year.
Yeah, so he's still got 3 years and a boatload of money left. I think Kirk Cousins signed like an extra 2 years on top of his already massive deal.
His is fully guaranteed anyway.
Yeah.
He signed a 2-year contract extension with the Vikings for $66 million.
It's not even worth moving on from him because he's.
No, but you said he signed it last year, right?
Yeah, he signed it last year, March of last year.
So this would be his last year, or he would still have another season.
A 2-year contract, so he has 2 more seasons. Next year,
2 more seasons
next year he plays next year, and that's the end of his contract with Minnesota.
So I mean, if you really wanted to, you could draft a guy like Trey Lance, knowing that you're going to sit him, knowing that he, ceiling wise, has a much higher ceiling than Kirk Cousins.
If
he were to drop,
if he were to drop to like
14,
8-9, I mean, if he drops to 8-9, the Vikings are right at 14. That's not terrible.
Yeah, and
But
I think the Broncos would be more than happy to oblige.
Yeah, but I also don't think they're gonna do that though. They put too much money in the Kurt. I don't see them doing that. I feel like they're in. Obviously, they're not in win now mode, but I feel like they're in more of a we're gonna go for this and gun it,
right?
Rather than
yeah. But here's the thing. It goes back to what you guys been talking about. It's like when you have a quarterback and they're done in that transition mode, and you've been winning and you're out of pretty much the top 10 or the top 5 to get a good quarterback. You need to make a move, even if it's a quarterback that's going to sit for like a year or two. You need to make that move, like a
Not
Trey
to
Lance.
mention, from what I've been hearing, the next year's draft's a crapshoot.
With quarterbacks,
outside of one or two guys, like it is a absolute dumpster fire.
Well, the thing,
and that happens, and
it may be a situation where like you take the guy now because there's just too much talent in this draft.
And that's what I'm saying.
You know that you're not going to be able to get a guy of that talent level for at least the next 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm. You gotta look at the 2022 draft because the two things I've heard, and again somebody said it earlier again tonight. Like, so when I've looked at the 2022 draft class, the main people I see Ritter from Cincy, I see Kevin Slovis from USC, obviously another USC quarterback. JT Daniels from Georgia.
Whatever quarterback comes out of Ohio State.
Yeah, probably.
And whatever quarterback comes out of Alabama.
No, Bryce Young's probably too young for that. The Rattler from Oklahoma. And then you have Brock Purdy from Iowa State. You have this other kid, something Crum from Kent State, who's like a baller. You have like that's the 2022 draft class is like you have to see how they're going to mature within the next year. But like there's actually some good names out there. Like I have it right. I actually have an article. There's Sam Howell from UNC, Kevin Slovis from USC, Bo Nix from Auburn, Spencer Rattler from Oklahoma, Tanner Morgan from Minnesota, Brock Purdy from Iowa State, Emory Jones from Florida, Sean Clifford from Penn State, Lane Hatcher from Arkansas State, Desmond Ritter from Cincinnati, Dustin Crum from Kent State, Jacob Zeno. Like, there's kids in this class. There are a good amount of kids in this class. Like, you just gotta see how they're gonna fare next year. But a lot of those kids, I've seen them play multiple games the past couple seasons. They have talent, so I wouldn't, especially like I like Spencer Rattler from Oklahoma. He's a little reckless with the ball, but that's like kind of to be expected with these Oklahoma quarterbacks, Kyler Murray and.
That's kind of the way the system works.
Yeah, it's like controlled chaos. But I mean, before you say it's a dumpster fire, you gotta watch these kids. There's some pretty talented kids in that class. Before we end, because it's 2:30 and I'm dying, I have to get up for work at 8. So, we have anything else we want to go over before we're out of here?
Nope. I think that might be it.
Nope.
I think we're done here. All right. Guys, I hope you enjoyed our 3-round mock draft. I hope we had fun doing it. It was just something very new for us. We always do the first round, but we haven't really done the second or third round. So again, our first round was live. It was on Facebook. It was on our page. You guys can check that out. Our second round will be up on this screen, this video probably somewhere, or it'll be down below in the link in the description. But as always, thank you for your support, guys. Thanks for hanging with us to the end. If you did, we appreciate it. There'll be a lot more to come. Like I said, we're gonna see if we can figure out and try to do a mock maybe work some trades in, or maybe we'll just have to just sit down and just write out and agree to things ourselves. Just say like, okay, this team has traded this pick to blah blah. We'll try to figure it out for you guys. We have 15 days to do it, so if not, we will see you guys live for draft night. We'll all try to post up and go live, give you guys some live immediate reactions. But other than that, it's Nosebleeds signing out. You guys have a good night. Bye.